Okay, we're going to go ahead and get started. First off, for those of you who have not attended a MCREIA meeting before, that's the Marion County Real Estate Investors Association. Welcome. We're glad you're aboard tonight. We still got people coming in. I'm going to have to admit them when they come in. This is the first time we've ever done this, so it's going to be fun. Probably going to be making a lot of mistakes and stumbling around a little bit, but we're going to get through this and we're going to have a good time doing it. Marion County Real Estate Investors Association is a not-for-profit, all-volunteer organization. We do not have the means or ability to vet the backgrounds of members, speakers, or attendees. We do not endorse speakers, businesses, or members. Always do your own due diligence when entering into any business relationship with potential partners or members. They may not have the same level of ethics or integrity that you do. And MCREIA will not be held responsible for any business dealings you engage in, regardless if you make money or if you lose money. Okay, so that's our disclaimer. We did not sleep in a comfort inn last night.
Except don't worry about it.
Okay. We have several people on here whose names I do not recognize, which is a good thing. If you would, I'm going to, if you would, go down the chat box and just kind of let me know if you are a first-time attendee tonight.
Hi, my name is Jackie Rogers. I am a first-time attendee and looking forward to getting good information from this group.
All right, Jackie. What brought you to MCREIA tonight?
I received an email about the meeting, so that's what brought me to there. I'm a realtor and also I'm a mobile home investor.
Ah, okay, very good. Were you a member at one time in the past?
No, I have not been.
Have you, and you've never attended another MCREIA meeting before this?
No, this is my first.
Are you probably coming to us from the meetup then?
Probably so. Also, I was a part of, I think I attended a convention or some type of meeting, and I put my information that I would be interested. So I think I met someone probably like in the last 6 months that wanted to know if I was interested.
Okay. You know how to find us on the web then, Jackie?
Outside of the link that I received, no. So I'd be interested in getting more information about it.
Yeah, it's www.mcreia.net.
Okay, thank you for that.
Yeah, it stands for the Marion County Real Estate Investors Association. We just call it MCREIA.
MCREIA. Okay, thank you.
All right, who else do we have on here that's new tonight? I know I had some guest passes printed out for Linda Bush. I know I've seen you on here tonight. Can you unmute yourself, Linda?
Hi, Carl.
Hey, Linda.
Hi, Peggy.
Are you calling from South Carolina?
Oh, yes, ma'am, I am.
Oh, that is so cool.
Yes.
I saw your name pop up and I said, that can't be the same Linda Bush.
It is the same one. And Jean Hannum was nice enough to send me information about the meeting. And it sounded really interesting. I have some experience with mobile homes and I'm really interested to hear what Rod has to say.
Well, you're going to make sure you take plenty of notes tonight because he's good at what he does.
That's awesome.
Okay, we got an Angela Cesari. Angela, can you unmute yourself? Oh, she says she does not have a mic. Okay. All right. Go ahead and use the chat box, Angela. How did you find us tonight? She came through us from Meetup. Okay. And what's your interest in real estate? She invests in mobile homes and mobile home parks. Okay. This should be a good meeting for you. And the same thing goes for you. If you want to find out more information about MCREIA, we meet on the second Tuesday of the month. Normally we're at the Courtyard Marriott at the same time, second Tuesday of the month. All right, how about Dwan Thomas? Is Dwan here tonight? Okay, maybe not. He had printed out a guest pass earlier. Anybody else here that's new for the first time tonight?
Hi, my name is Shadai, and I moved from Las Vegas 3 weeks ago with the intention of buying property in Marion County. So when I saw this meetup, it was something I was really interested in.
Okay, so you came to us from Meetup then?
Yes.
Okay, very good. And like I say, if you want more information about the local REIA here, just go to www.mcreia.net. You can join there, and you can also see the slate of meetings that we have there. Okay, who else we got on here that's new tonight?
Hi, my name is Lisa Desmond, and I recently from Broward, and I'm interested in kind of getting more into investing in real estate. I have a house and I have another separate piece of land, and I was looking into little house rentals, and I'm also interested. I saw this and it sparked my attention, so I want to learn more about this as well.
Okay, yeah, you're a little echoey there, Lisa, but
Okay, sorry.
And you came to us from where?
From Broward County originally.
Broward.
Fort Lauderdale.
Oh, Broward.
Yeah, I live there.
Yep.
Okay, cool. Excuse me, we still got people coming in. All right, who else we got on here that's new tonight? Nobody else is willing to fess up, huh? Okay. Normally we have the, well, let me just welcome you all the new people that are here for the first time, either whether you came through some of our meetup groups or you came from some other source. We're glad to have you on this meeting tonight. This is the first time we've ever done this electronically, so it's going to be fun. It's going to be interesting because it's the first time we've ever done this. So, but I encourage you all to go to MCREIA.net, take a look at the website. You can join there if you so choose. We've got a good group. It's a great group for real estate education and for networking with active investors in the Marion County area, and that includes Gainesville. Basically, we cover from Gainesville to Leesburg primarily, as far as our serving area. So, all right, so welcome again. Normally we have a market report. Normally I do that, but I am not going to do that tonight because obviously the market has been kind of turned upside down here. We are still selling houses, meaning realtors are selling houses. There are some showings going on. I'm seeing more realtors doing virtual tours and virtual open houses where they do a Facebook Live and they just walk through the house and talk about the house. So there's a lot of different alternatives in the real estate world right now. I've run into this situation. We have one under contract that we're going to rehab. We close the end of the month. Some of my contractors do not want to come out to a house that has somebody in it. So we're having to make some adjustments there as far as getting estimates and that type of thing. So it's been interesting, it's been challenging, and I think everybody's finding new ways of doing things, including MCREIA. So, all right. We have two subgroups that we have. They all meet on Tuesday nights. Next Tuesday night is the landlord subgroup. That is run by James Swift. He is also going to be doing his meeting on Zoom. And that is at 6:30 instead of 6 o'clock. And that will be on the 21st. So if y'all are taking notes, you might want to write that down. But that's James Swift. He's doing a landlord group, and what they're going to be talking about, one of the main topics they're going to talk about this month in the landlord group is how to collect rents automatically or electronically. So that is a very timely topic right now, since we're not supposed to be meeting people face to face necessarily. So anyway, that's coming up on the 21st at 6:30. I run the new investor workshop. Ours is also going to be electronic. What I am going to cover in that is, I think is a topic that's extremely timely right now. I think we have, we're heading into a change in the market. Might be temporary, might be a little longer than temporary, but I don't think it'll be permanent. But we've been in a very strong seller's market for the last 2 years. And last year it got even stronger than the year before. So what this will do is, can't hear me. I'm not muted.
No, I hear you.
Okay. But what our topic we're going to cover, which will be on the 28th
Audio's good.
at 6 o'clock, is creative financing techniques. We're going to talk about 7 different creative financing techniques to get deals closed. So that's what the topic will be. That's going to be on the 28th. That will also be on Zoom. And that will be at 6 o'clock on the 28th. There will be a handout, not a handout, but it would normally be a handout if we were meeting in person, but it'll be on the screen for y'all to take notes. This is a matrix that I got from a guy named Chad Corbett, who is with all the leads in Roanoke, Virginia. He's been doing some great sessions talking about how to adapt to all these changes and some of the stuff he's seeing in the marketplace. The most notable thing he has seen in the marketplace at this point is the lenders for mortgage, the mortgage lenders at this point seem to be pulling back a little bit because they're not exactly sure what's going to happen as terms of people's income. So there's some banks out there that started pulling back because they're getting a little gun shy, not really knowing, if they issue a new mortgage, is the person who's getting the mortgage going to even be able to make the first couple of payments or be able to continue the payments after that. So that's one of the biggest things I've seen. I've also got an email from a group that is a group of private lenders. They sent me an email the other day, and they said they have lost 30% of their private lenders since all this stuff started. So as far as the real estate being available, it is available. It's out there. There's still deals out there to be had, but the lending is getting to be an issue. In fact, Peggy and I ran into that on the one that we were closing at the end of the month. Our primary private lender did not want to lend us the money, so we had to go to a secondary source. So be prepared for that when you're out there getting deals. Okay.
Hey, Carl, Don Johnson. What are you paying on interest and any points? What did your secondary lender give out on that?
Well, I have a three-tiered scale, Don. The way I do it is I pay them 6% if they pay for the rehab. I pay them 8% if they pay for the purchase. And I pay them 10% if they pay full freight. No points.
Okay, very good.
I've never had a private lender that didn't take the 10%. So what that means is when Peg and I go into a rehab, we basically are not using any of our own money. That's the power of a private lender, as opposed to a hard money lender. It's going to require 20 or 30% down, only lend on 70% of the purchase price and that kind of thing. So yeah, I used them when I first started, but I got away from them very quickly just because of that. Okay, anybody out there have any properties for sale?
No.
Carl, this
Yeah.
is Dolores. I don't have anything for sale, but I am bird dogging a mobile home, if anyone's interested. And the only reason I'm bird dogging it is because it needs so many repairs. I wouldn't want to give a bad estimate. Oh, hold on. Alexa, stop. Sorry. It's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 1976 mobile home on 0.9 acres. It's 1,344 square feet. It's got a 3-dog kennel with a bathing facility. Apparently it was rented out, and it's way overgrown. He left all of his furniture there, and apparently the guy that left was mad, and he threw paint all over the floor and on the walls. So I didn't even know where to begin to do an estimate. So if anyone's interested, I'm bird dogging that property, and they can contact me.
That sound like something you like, Rod?
Oh,
It's something that I would look into.
the guy is asking $65,000. Oh, and it has an electric front gate. The guy is asking $65,000. He got an offer for $50,000, but he's not happy with that. So I think fixed up, it would be worth more, but that would be up to whoever buys it.
We can take a look at it. We'll talk afterwards, and then we'll take a look at the address and do a little due diligence, and then get back with you if you'd like.
Okay, good. Thanks.
Okay, who else we have? I've got something for sale. Nobody?
I'm new to the group, so I guess I'm trying to understand. Are these wholesalings that's for sale, or these ones that are just, what types of properties are
They can be either, Jackie.
okay? So any
Principally
type.
wholesale deals, but you know, Peggy and I have one I'm going to talk about here in just a minute. But that is definitely a retail deal.
Okay, maybe I'll listen then, because I probably have maybe about 3 or 4. So
Are they all in this area?
at least 2 of them are, yes.
Well, what you got? You got them under contract?
No, they're not under contract right now.
Okay. You really need to have them under contract.
Okay, got it.
Okay.
Well, I have them under, let me take it back. I have them, I'm a realtor, so I have them listed, put it that way.
Ah, okay. Yeah, you can tell us what you got. That's basically retail, right?
Yeah, I probably have 50% of properties that I work with that are in that category. So I have one that's 2.1 acres. And it's close to Marion County, it's in Citrus County. It's in Crystal River. It's probably close to 40, 50 minutes for the Gulf of Mexico by Denellen area as well. It has a pool. It's 4 bedrooms, 2 baths, has 2 additional sheds, been well maintained. And it was mainly used as a part-time home. So it was for snowbirds, the people they live up north. They hadn't lived there on a regular basis.
Okay, what's your telephone number, Jackie?
352-223-3449.
Okay,
You know, all of the properties that I have, you know, pictures and video and that I can provide if needed.
okay. And you said you had a second one?
For Marion County, let me think. Let's just leave it at that one. I'm thinking I have others but they may be a little bit further away. I have Lake County and some other ones as well.
Okay.
Okay.
Hey, Dolores, can you unmute yourself and come back in?
I'm
Jackie?
here. I'm here.
Yes. Oh, I was
Yeah,
asking.
Dolores, what's your phone number, Dolores?
661-270-9663. And by the way, that's in Marion County.
Okay. Did you get that, Rod?
Yes.
Okay. All right, anybody else got anything for sale? Okay, either they're not unmuting themselves or we don't have anybody else. But Peggy and I have one that they just took pictures this morning. And it's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, block and stucco house, 1,685 feet. It's been renovated. We just finished that up the other day. It is 6 miles from the World Equestrian Center. Sits on a 1/4-acre lot on Southwest 140th Avenue, basically 3 doors down from BP2 off of 40, if people are familiar with that area. And we're asking $170 for that one. But that, I've got my for sale by owner sign in the front yard right now, but if we don't move it this week, then I'll be putting it into the MLS. Okay. All right, who's got properties that they're looking for besides me? Anybody looking for,
Hey, Carl,
yeah,
it's Kay.
I can see the top of your head, Kay.
You can? Well, you shouldn't be. I have me off.
Not anymore.
Okay,
You
well,
started talking, you came
I'm
on.
not going to let you see me because I just got out of the shower. Okay, listen, I'm looking for 2-car garage. I would take a 1. I'm looking for something I can work on, but it doesn't have to be a dump. Someone just needs to get rid of it, or they want to do owner financing. I've got some cash. I would like it to be 1,200 square feet or bigger. And I might look at something that was mobile or double wide, as long as it was on its own lot. So anything in Marion, Lake, or Alachua County.
Okay, what's your phone number?
989-205-5089.
Oh, I didn't give you guys my phone number. It's 352-446-8559. And Peggy and I are always looking for anything that we can make at least 20 grand on as a flip. So I know they're out there. We will also do mobile homes. And here lately, I've been concentrating on finding abandoned mobile homes on their own lot. I'm looking to pick that property up cheap, scrape the old mobile home off, put a new mobile home on, and turn around and sell it. So guys run around town, you see anything like that, you see an old mobile sitting out by itself somewhere, that's the kind of thing I'm looking for.
What was Kay's number again?
989-205-5089.
Okay, I got a couple good folks in here that's on the chat box. I've got an Angela, numbers 407-602-8017. She says she's always looking for manufactured homes and manufactured home communities anywhere in Florida. Okay, Angela. Craig Gatus, hope I said that right. He says, if anybody has an off-market mobile home park, he has an interested party. Okay. Craig, I need your phone number. And then Angela says, I can repair manufactured homes as well. So Carl, we will be in contact. What is my number again? It's 352-446-8559. And Craig's number is 540-457-0506. And he is looking for off-market mobile home parks. We have a few of those around here. A lot of them are small, but we have quite a few of them around here. Okay, anybody else? All right. Again, we meet normally the second Tuesday of the month at the Courtyard Marriott at 6 o'clock. The networking takes place in the bistro. That's a little restaurant they have right outside of the room we meet in. We do all that networking both before and after, and I can tell you that that's where all the best information and the best deals are made, or is right there in that bistro afterward. And that's where you make a lot of contacts to help you improve your business, find contractors, referrals, all that kind of good stuff. A lot of that goes on right there in the bistro. Okay. I have not seen, who do we have on here as a business member? I don't remember seeing any of our business members on here. Oh, we got one more here. Shade says she's looking for fixer-upper mobile homes on lots or vacant land. She's a remodeler, so condition doesn't matter, and she would like at least 1/4 acre. Need a phone number here, Shade.
Oh, I'm sorry. My number is, it's a Vegas number. It's 702-767-3715.
Okay. Hopefully we're getting you settled in here after moving in from Vegas. Okay. Now this came up this week. We have benefits that you have from joining MCREIA. One of them happens to be discount program that they have at Home Depot. I got a call from one of our members earlier this week, and he wanted to know, he had just gone into Home Depot, bought something, and he said, I'm a MCREIA member. And the girl looked at him like he had 5 heads, which was understandable. In order to get the Home Depot discounts, you have to go, you have to register for it in advance of going to Home Depot. All right, so in order to get him through the register and get his discount, I gave him my account number, which is everybody's phone number, that's what it is. And sure enough, I got his receipt in the mail. But anyway, I just letting everybody know that that is a great benefit we have. That's just one of many companies you can get discounts at, being a MCREIA member. Also, you can, you will, as a MCREIA member, you also get a website. You have to set that up first, but once you have that website set up, then you're also able to put properties on there that you are selling. So that's good. And the other thing that also will do as a MCREIA member, anybody else is selling any properties that they post on the on either our website or any other website in Florida, any other REIA that's using it, like CFRI in Orlando, Tampa REIA, Miami REIA. There's a lot of REIAs in Florida that are using the same software. So anything that they post on their pages will also show up in your email, let you take a look at it. So for those people looking for mobile home parks anywhere in the state of Florida, you know, if you see one of those pop up, if you're a member and somebody posts that on their REIA website, then you will get an email to that effect. So there's some good benefits to belong to MCREIA other than just the education and the networking that we provide. Okay, that covers a business part of the this meeting. Now, I'm going to introduce Rod Renna to you. He's our speaker tonight. Rod Renna, I'm not even sure how Rod and I even ran into each other, but I know it was having something to do with mobile homes.
Probably.
And he is, I've actually fed a couple to him, and he's also helped me as far as what things to look for and stuff like that as far as inspecting mobile homes. He also alerted me to the fact about getting financing on mobile homes in cases where you move them, which I was not aware of, which was a great tip, Rod. So Rod is the owner of Mobile Home Cash Out, and he is our speaker tonight. So I would highly recommend that everybody get their paper and pencil out, just like I'm doing right now, and get ready because Rod's going to share with us some great information. All right, Rod, it's all yours.
Hi, you guys. Can you all hear me okay? Can everybody hear me? Carl, can you hear me?
Yes, yes, yes.
All right, that means everybody can.
Yes.
Okay, good. I don't want to start talking.
You got to look in your chat box.
Yes, the chat box. I'm still looking for that. But as soon as I hear something, I know Carl will help me with that. Thank you, Carl, for having me, and MCREIA. What a great organization. You guys are growing by leaps and bounds. You get really good people there. And I had a speaking event there when you weren't in, Carl. Anything you see on TV is going to be the same stuff. So hopefully you guys can learn something new now. Mobile Home Cash Out is a very action-oriented company. And I got into mobile homes. I was in occupational therapy for many years. I had my own rehab management company down south. And when I came up here, after losing everything, 2007, 2008, like a lot of people, I just started looking around. I come to, you know, Central Florida area, and I said, oh my goodness, what am I going to get into? And I started renting out mobile homes. Then I found an investor that wanted to buy them all and remove them. So I kind of started getting into that a little bit. And now, you know, we have properties throughout Florida and Texas. We're the largest buying network of mobile homes in Florida and Texas. So I'm between two states doing a lot of great stuff. And one thing's for sure is mobile homes is something very, it's a special niche in the industry. I'm looking at a lot of webinars and people that are speaking on stage about making millions of dollars with mobile homes. I still haven't seen millions of dollars yet. So I'm a realist. I mean, we do a lot of great things with our company, but we're not multimillionaires with mobile homes. It doesn't really work that way. So I don't want to break anybody's heart, but I do want to let you know there's a lot of different ways that you can go about investing in mobile homes. And just be realistic and realize there's tons of them, mostly throughout the south of the country. And it's just a wonderful business to get into. But there's a lot of pitfalls to where when you're investing in homes, especially if you're looking to wholesale one or flip or rehab and flip, you really got to know what you're looking at. You got to know proper background on a home. You know, there's a lot of wholesalers out there. They're a dime a dozen now. They're all over Facebook and Craigslist. They're selling homes to people who really have their last $20,000, $30,000 to their name, and the guy in the middle or the girl in the middle selling it to them are not checking wind zones. They're not checking titles. They're not checking the HUD plate. They don't understand how a home gets transported and pulled off the property. They kind of just want to get the sale and walk away. So I've been doing a lot of education. We've been in business almost 8 years now. And I've just been doing a ton of education with people, putting out a lot of fires that they got themselves involved with. And I always leave an open door with that. I mean, you guys get into something, whether it's with us or someone else, I hope you call up our company and just say, hey, Rod, I'm in the middle of this. Or what do you think we should do? And if I don't know, I have so many resources in this industry to help you guys make sure you don't get caught in something ridiculous. Because sometimes you're dealing with these homes with small margins. And if you make a mistake, your $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 that you're going to make from a home, if you're wholesaling it, that goes in court costs. And you don't want to get involved with that, even though you feel like your hands are clean. So there's ways to look at contracts and things like that. We'll get into all that. And I hope you guys, if you have any questions, I'm still trying to find this chat box. So I don't want to make you think I'm ignoring you, but I'm more of like a public kind of speaker guy, but I'm doing this now and I'm gonna, I know Carl will interject and say, hey, Rod, somebody's asking you these questions. Please don't ignore them. I'm not offended. I'm just not ignoring you. I just can't really find that. Is that all right, Carl? Where you can jump in? All right. So somebody's chatting and asking me a question. I want to ask. I'm more of like a free talker. So I'll try not to go over on a tangent. My wife's not too far from me. So she'll wave a red flag in the background telling me to stop talking so much about one thing. So I really got everything under control now. But with all that being said, I want to make sure that we start moving into everything. And I want to make sure you guys see the pages as they're flipping. I'm sure it's working. The guy gyrate in the middle is actually Batman. This is what I want you guys to look at mobile homes. Add it to your investment utility belt. You know, this is something to where if you're a realtor in particular, we work with tons of realtors, tons of real estate companies we speak with. And you guys are finding a lot of homes that are on land that need to be pulled off. And you really don't want to get involved with calling transportation, doing backgrounds on the home. How are you going to get the titles out of retirement? All that nasty stuff that you got to go through. So real estate professionals and of course wholesalers and bird dogs and all that, you're going to find these kind of deals. These are excellent sources of income, believe it or not. The trick is to remember, and we're going to get into this in the next couple of clicks, you have to have newer than 1977 with a home. Technically, it's 1976 and a half and newer. They started making these mobile homes. They used to be called trailers before that. Hey, get out of my trailer. It's not really like that anymore. They build these up now. They're hurricane resistant, pretty much. And, you know, they get their winds will come 76 and a half and newer. So if you find something that's a 1970 and you're wholesaling or trying to do something with somebody to have it transported off the property, anything older than 77, just don't look to transport it, because either it's got to be used as storage or it's got to be taken to the dump. And we'll get into that also, because you're not going to be able to sell it. And if you get somebody who's a lughead that's going to buy a home from you off of a property that needs to get the title out of retirement, and it's, you know, in 1975, it doesn't matter how nice it is, you can't legally install it anywhere. So, you know, just keep that in mind. If you got a 75 and you got a nice piece of land, do your best to try to rehab what you have and keep it there. Otherwise, you know, I'm going to tell you some tricks with transportation. The most biggest headache in this industry is transportation. I don't know how many of you guys know that. Believe me when I tell you, it's a lot of headaches, but that's the biggest one. And it's because they're kind of in their own zone, the transport guys. They're in high demand. And like I always say, you know, I know many of them personally, and so I'm not dogging the guys, but they're not customer service oriented. They're kind of like, hey, listen, man, you're going to break my chops. I'm going to drop your home off on the middle of I-75 and you could take a hike. They literally talk like that. So keep that in mind because they deal with it all the time, putting out fires, private people, investors that do a couple of homes a year. Those aren't the people that they're going to be extra nice to. They like consistent and their money consistent. So if you're doing deals every once in a while, you really have to learn to build relationships with these transport guys. I'm going to get into that. So making mobile homes into your investment utility belt, that's the first thing. You're buying, you're flipping, you're doing probates. This is just part of it. And what I love about mobile homes is when I lost everything in 2007, 2008, I was able to afford to find a home. One in particular in Anthony, Florida is really how I started. And the girl had to move back to Texas. And I offered her $500 for the home. I said, I mean, I literally had probably a couple of thousand in my bank account at the time. It was really bad. I mean, we did well and lost it. And then I walked out. I just said, listen, I'll give you $500. She was like, okay, great, take the home. I said, great, but here's the problem. It was in a park in Anthony, Florida. So I walked up to the managers, not knowing anything about the business, said, hey, I bought this guy's home. Here's the title. And I'm ready. They said, well, she owes us $1,700 to the park, and we got to get that money. So that's when I started realizing that you can't just buy something without doing proper research. So it began there. But we stuck it out, and I built into something really well. We have just a tremendous service where I just want to see people making money quick. Another quick story. We came out of a Rich Dad class after I met my wife. We spent tens of thousands of dollars on the Rich Dad class after making money with the beginning of the mobile home. And I tell you, when we got out, it was like, okay, we're ready to conquer the world, but there's no immediate income coming in. I mean, it's the one thing that the Grant Cardones and the Robert Kiyosaki's don't tell you, yeah, get into reels, get some cash flow. But the reality is you got to make money. You got to make money. Let me do something here so I can get a check this week. And that's where mobile homes are great. And a lot of people just kind of go over it because they have that old stigma, rednecks and trailers, and it could be the furthest thing from the truth, even though sometimes I like it when they say that. It's more for our company, I guess. But I like to see you guys look at it a little different. I'm so glad to hear people are doing mobile home investing already. There was a few people, I heard some names. And if you have more specific questions by the end, you could call up our office. We're open 10 to 1 Monday through Friday. We have people on staff that will be able to talk to you and make sure you're in the right direction, whether you're working with us or not, because you should be successful doing this. And you got to make money. You got to make money right away. And nothing better than real estate, but to get some checks to pay the bills, hey, why not? Especially in this environment with coronavirus and all this stuff. We're still really busy. The inventory went down a bit, but again, we're busy. We have the buyers, we have the sellers, we have a big network, and we want you to be part of that. Whether it's with us, just know what you're doing and stay out of trouble. So to move on of what we're going to talk about is number one is I'm going to go over these in basic fashion. So again, if there's something specific I'm not mentioning, just go ahead in the chat box and Carl will flag me and say, Rod, read the chat box, and then we'll get into it. So adding a mobile home to property, and this is where we're getting a little bit more into transportation, because when you have an empty lot and you're like, this is great, I'm just going to stick a mobile home on there, you do know that you can't just take a plug and put it into a socket and then the thing turns on. You'd be surprised how many people believe that. There's a lot involved with getting a mobile home hooked up, including, and you have to look at first is, can that home be installed on that property? So you've got to be aware if that can work or not. We're also going to get into some rehabbing, how to rehab a lot of these homes. Very important when you get into rehabbing. You're going to want to know your numbers and all that kind of stuff. It's not like doing a house. It's a lot cheaper. It's a lot easier to do. It's why a lot of people, you got a little less income. You get into stuff like this. You can start rehabbing mobile homes and reselling them. But it's important to have somebody with you with a different set of eyes. We'll get into that. And inspections, like, well, this is inspections from the way we do it on our company. We do a general inspection. If you want to start lifting up roofs to look inside to see if there was anything that happened in 1989, you got to bring somebody with you to do it. But I'll tell you this right now, if you find a great deal on a mobile home, especially, now that it's getting more popular, and you say, look, I want to do my due diligence, I'm going to send my roofer back here on Tuesday, maybe we'll make it Wednesday, you're going to lose the deal. Trust me, they go quick, mostly purchased by people that don't know what they're doing, but nonetheless, they're going to be put under contract, you're going to lose the deal. So bring somebody with you when you're ready to do this stuff. We'll go over that. Now, mobile homes in parks. This is the most general way that people do invest in mobile homes. I'll talk about Lonnie deals and how Lonnie deals have changed now over the years. And I'm going to give you a lot of tips that if you're doing this, and I heard a couple of the ladies talking about fixing up the homes and they're looking for homes in parks. There's tons of them, but it's not the biggest problem to look at is the home that's available in the park. And I'll get into that with you of what one of the biggest hurdles are going to be by doing that, especially nowadays. We know tons of park owners out there, and I can tell you, they're not going to make this easier on you, these Lonnie type deals anymore. Then we'll get into wholesaling and locating homes. Wholesaling a home, some of the different things that you got to look out to when you're trying to wholesale, you get them under contract. If you ever see me on LinkedIn, I work with tons of wholesalers, realtors that do the wholesaling on the side. And we're going to talk about pitfalls of wholesaling so that you could stay in business and build a brand for yourself. We're also going to get locating mobile homes, which we always prefer. We think it's the easiest way to do it. And so either way that you look at it, we'll get into that. And the last one is this guy here. I mean, this is real. That's not a real picture of a guy. I think that's a stock photo or something, but I got to tell you something. You're going to meet a lot of characters like this out there. They literally will show up with a 40 in their hand and say, hey man, I know somebody that knows somebody to buy a mobile home. And you know, that's the guy who's trying to sell you a mobile home. Is this how you want to get into business? If you want to start finding homes and finding great deals, you've got to get trim the fat from the wrong kind of people. Because if you get these kind of guys, there's a lot of experienced guys on the ground. They know how to take advantage of things. And these backgrounds we're going to get into too. A lot of these guys don't even do proper backgrounds. There's nothing worse if you get in a home that has the HUD plate here that they pulled off from another home, stuck it on this one, screwed it back in, and tried to sell somebody the wrong home. It happens every day in Florida and Texas in particular. We were in 30 states at one time. I narrowed them down. I'll get into that another time, but these guys are doing it specifically in Florida and some areas in Texas. You've got to be very careful. You might find a great deal. The guy tells you it's a 2000 double wide. In reality, it's a 1991. And then you find out that 91 has $12,000 in liens on it. It happens. So you got to really know what you're looking at. So if you guys are ready, I'll get into the first one. And that is, that's adding mobile homes to a property. And you remember what I said, you got the wind zone sticker and you got a title. There's also a HUD plate I don't have a picture on. And I've dealt with enough of them, I should have let you a picture. A HUD plate is a 3-inch metal plate located on the width end of a mobile home just above the skirting. Just above the skirting, you'll see it's a little 3-inch metal plate. It's going to say GEO 1234 or FLA 12345. This is very important because if you're looking to get a home to put it on a piece of property, you have to make sure that, first of all, who is selling the home to you, which is very important. And we're going to go over those, but I did want to show you, you got a title on here. You can do title checks very easily in the state of Florida. All you got to do is go to Florida VIN check. Type in Florida VIN check. And right there, you click on it and you can type in the title and it'll tell you. And it's free. Don't pay to do that. On some of these sites are charging you to do a VIN check. Look, I don't know what it's like outside of Florida and Texas, but you don't want to don't do it in Florida and have some guy charge you $50 to do it for you. So it's free to do. And you want to, and that's a general way to do a background on a home. It's not a foolproof way, but it's a general way that you have to do that. And then the HUD plate that I told you about, you got a wind zone sticker here on the left. You look at the numbers on the HUD plate, compare it to what's on the wind zone sticker. If they're different, you're going to need to go a little bit deeper into it. I'm not going to go too far into it, but I could tell you this right now. If you're looking to find a home and it's a great deal and those two don't match, that's a big red flag. That's something that you should call our office for because we can get the right contacts over there to double check and make sure you're not buying a big tin can piece of garbage that's wasting time. So that's important. So as we go into this,
let me stop right there. Where does the wind zone sticker show up at in the mobile home?
Thank you for saying that to me. Wind zone stickers generally are located in 2 places, sometimes a third, but generally it's in the master bedroom closet of any mobile home. You'll see it stuck right on the wall. Now what happens is if you're looking at a 1985, guess what? You know, mom painted over. What is this ugly sticker? She pulls it down. She never thinks the home's going to be moved. So that'll be missing. So you're going to have to order one is what's going to happen. So if you're looking to order a wind zone, the best way to go is to go to IBTS, IB as in boy, TS, IBTS.com, I believe. And you got to get a wing zone certification. They'll mail one to you. It's about $100. If you need it right away, it's about $125. And that's the way to get a proper wind zone on a house. Because believe me, when you go to get something put on a piece of your property and you have to start getting, and you have to get it installed, if there's no wind zone sticker, the inspector is going to say, hey man, there ain't no wind zone sticker. You're going to have to get it. I'm going to come back in another month. And if you're on a time restraint, you don't want to be bothered with that. So keep that in mind. So it's master bedroom closet. The other area is kitchen cabinets, might have them. But again, if they renovated a home, it's not going to be in the kitchen cabinets. And another place might be by the electrical box. You know, if you like open it up, sometimes it's in there. Very rarely, but normally master bedroom closet and kitchen cabinets. You got to look in it, maybe like right under the sink. You open it up, you see the sticker there. That's primo. It's always great when you have a wind zone. Saves you money and headache because you could just leave it right there. When it goes to get installed, the inspector will see it and everything will be fine. Okay, so one is, who are you buying a mobile home from? You got to be careful with these local yokels. They're selling homes. They don't know what they're doing and they're trying to make their money and they're not a real legitimate business and you have no one to hold accountable. So what happens when you have nobody to hold accountable? You blame everybody else and it's, you know, it's only your fault it comes down to. And you know, all this preaching that I'm doing, it's kind of funny because I've made all these mistakes over the first year. I mean, I really like, Dave Ramsey says, I got the t-shirt and stupid. I've just lost tens of thousands of dollars on deals. But the one thing that kept me in business is I paid back every penny because anything that goes wrong, I'm always kind of eating it. It still happens to this day. A wholesaler, you know, I really want to see them succeed and then the deal kind of falls apart. They get paid generally. And, you know, it's just the way it happens. But you got to be careful who you're buying these homes from. Dealerships are better. They're licensed. You can hold them accountable. Mobile home brokers, you can hold them accountable. They're bonded. And that's very important, who to get homes to. And build relationships. I mean, you might find a guy who's not licensed, who's just a really good, honest guy, and you want to work with him. You know, if you feel like you take a chance with it. Background checks on the home, like I went over, wind zone checks, HUD plates, make sure they have them. If the HUD plate is missing, make sure they didn't re-side over the original siding. You're going to find some flat siding on there. You have to rip apart the vinyl siding. You'll see the HUD plate there, all rusty. A lot of times when we go to homes and we do our inspection, we bring a little bit of paint remover and a little scouring pad. Do a little bit of this. You can see it in my videos that I do. I do a little bit of scouring, make it nice and clean. You can see those numbers that are on there. That's the proper way to do it. You also want to make sure that there's nothing attached to the home, like an Uncle Vinny in Brooklyn that wants to kill the next guy who buys it. There are ways of finding that out. You have to dig into the story of who you're getting the home from. So you might buy it from another person that owns his own land who says, yeah, buy my home, I'll sell it to you for $5 grand, and it's a beautiful 1995, but what else is attached to that? Even if you have your own contract with them, and I can't stress this enough, no matter what, I know wholesalers and people that buy always say, that's your problem. I just bought the home, I don't know anything. Let me tell you something, if you're spending all this money on transport and everything, make it a good deal, know what you're doing, so that when the home is ready to be moved, you got everything under the umbrella of what you need to do. Because even if you feel like you're not part of a deal and it goes bad, you're going to be part of the deal. That's how it works. You go to court, I'm going to sue you. What are you going to sue me for? All I did was buy your home. It's not my, things happen. And it's important to know what you're doing. So we like to educate people on that, and sellers and buyers, because everyone is involved. And if you want to keep doing this, do it the right way, and you'll see what I mean. Verifying with the county if the home is going to fit, you always got to call up your county, ask them, look, I got a 14 by 64. Well, this is how big you can have your home. They're generally going to tell you. If they can't, tell them that you don't want to, you know, I need to talk to somebody else. There's a lot of people you talk to in the county, you might get half of them that are having a bad day, And then the other half, we're going to give you all the information you need. It's like going to a DMV. The one lady's having a bad day, you don't get what you need. You go back to the other dude on the counter, and then all of a sudden everybody's giving you all the information you need. So it's a little hit and miss. Get right with the county. Make sure that that home that you choose can be installed, because I guarantee you most of these guys that are selling homes, they don't care. Because once you buy it and you spend $3,500 to tear it down and transport it to your property, they're going to say, man, you bought it. That was your deal to know. You should have known that. So that happens every day. And I know a lot of you guys are rolling your eyes. It's great. It happens. And I deal with it every day. So verify with your county if it can go on there. On your land, removing old homes. I'm going to mention this first. Sometimes you'll get regular land where you need to get the hardware in the land, make sure it has well and septic, get somebody to check it out before you bring a home on there, of course. Well and septic companies are out there, they're everywhere. Removing a mobile home. So if you got an old home that's on there that's beat up, well, first of all, you could probably, this is if you bought the land, or if you, let's say if you're a realtor and the home is on the land and you need to get it off. First of all, the home is probably retired to the property. They do that because it's expedient. Yeah, I got the home, we did the deal, it's retired. Oh, wonderful. Now, how am I going to get the home off? So if the home is worth anything, you would want to sell that home off of the property if you can, if you're looking to put another home on it. Now, once the property, let's look at it this way. So when you have to remove a home, you want to, if you go, look, Rod, it's a 1965, it's all beat up. I just want to get it off. How do I demolition the home? Before you demo a home, and this is a great tip, don't demolition a home. See if there's any way possible you can get somebody, a transport company, to take it the way it is to a dump. They may be able to wrap it right. They might be able to do something, charge you for the breakdown and transport to the dump. It will save you a ton more money. Don't go to some guy on Craigslist who says, listen, I'm going to be able to wreck all that stuff for you. My name is Jim Jones on Craigslist. And then what happens? The guy comes, half of them are crack addicts that do it. And what are they going to do? They're going to strip the whole thing on the inside, leave your land a mess, run away and say, yeah, we'll come back for the rest. And they never come back. This happens every day out here, in particular in Florida. So you want to make sure first, if you can get a transport guy over there to say, hey, ABC Transport, can you pull this off the way it is for me? Just tear it down and pull it off. First, actually, see if you can sell it. So you're going to try to sell it, but you're going to let the buyer know, hopefully they know what they're doing, to get the title out of retirement. That's one thing, because they're not going to be able to get it without a title. And then the other thing is to make sure that you get a transport company to try to pull it off. If you have to demo it, I can never tell you in good faith to just get some local guys to do it, even though it's possible. I mean, I've done it before, but I always suggest you guys use a contractor for that, because, you know, you can really hold a general contractor responsible. And these local guys on Craigslist, man, you don't know what they're up to. So be very careful if you got to get a mobile home off of there. So definitely try to pull it off the way it is. You'll be charged for tear down and transport to the dump, and probably some dump fees. But man, that'll save you a lot more headaches if you can do it that way. Property preparedness or delivery. Did I spell it preparedness? I don't even know if I spelled that right. Property preparedness for delivery of a mobile home. So here's a really good thing to know also. You found a great property, maybe a half of an acre, and you want to put a home on it. Can the home get on the property? You know, you're going to have soft sand. You're going to have old oak trees everywhere. Just remember, a mobile home on a truck is pretty much like 80, 90 feet long, very wide. So if you don't have enough room, maybe I would say up to 20 feet to be able to squeeze a truck out of there. Now, if it's a double wide, they'll split it in half. So each half goes out. And you want to make sure you've got enough room going out, because if you have a property and you need all the fencing taken down, if you need trees cut to get the home on there, you're going to spend thousands of dollars. Again, guilty as charged, been through that years ago. Great property, great piece of land. I got to make it happen. Wait a minute, what about all those, what were they, a bunch of pine trees everywhere on it, fences, things all dug in, soft ground when it rained. I mean, what do you, I mean, you're going to get yourself caught into something yucky. So make sure that there's an in and an out for these guys. Don't count on transport guys to tell you. A lot of them don't even show up to your property anymore. They're going to look at you on Google Earth and they're going to say, yeah, I could get it in there, but they don't know what the ground and the terrain looks like. And Google Earth isn't always accurate. I mean, from what I've found. So that's important to know. I'm admitting people here, Carl, as I'm talking. I don't know if I should, you know, we got plenty of room. And also to inspect the utilities, like I said, get people out there to look at the well and septic, make sure that those grounds are ready for a mobile home, because you don't want to buy a mobile home, get it over there, move it over to one side of the property, prepare your well and septic, then they got to pick up the home and move it back there. And half of those guys out there are going to charge you to do that, because they can't just land it on the spot that they need and anchor it in. So they're going to charge you that they got to drive back out there, move it over for you and all that kind of stuff. So have your property ready first. And remember something else. The mobile home is the easy part, believe it or not. You may have trouble finding them. We do about 15 mobile homes to 20, somewhere in there a month in the state of Florida. So they're out there. You just gotta, you know, get your land prepared right, then get the home. Don't do it the other way around. It never works. You know, we've been through it. So just get your property prepared. And again, if you guys have any questions as I'm saying this, you just let me know. And well, don't let me know because I still don't know where the chat box is. Let Carl know. All right, going into rehabbing mobile homes. This was actually a mobile home that we found. Somebody sent to us on Facebook. The lady said she had a title. We went in there, I took a picture, and I went in and I walked in it. There's, if you look in the right side, there's a dryer that caught fire. The whole house caught fire. It's a beautiful, this is like a 2012 Skyline, 2-bedroom, 2-bath. We were gonna secure it at, I think I got her down to 6,000 on this home. But look at the inside. So the first thing I did was, you know, I'm as handy as a fruit fly. So if all you guys are really handy, you're ahead of me right now, I'm gonna tell you. But I had to bring my guys with me. They took a look. They said, Rod, it looks a lot worse than what it is. We guys got to pull down the ceilings. We got to take out the rugs. We got to do this. We got to do that. Ultimately, I gave her back the deal after giving her a non-refundable deposit of $500. I just let her have the deal back because she was having, she said she had the titles. Another thing, by the way, when people tell you they have a title to a home, make sure you get a copy of it right away. You'd think I would learn that after all these years. Sometimes we're doing so many, we just get through it. And this one here, she had a lot of trouble getting the title. I didn't even want to wait. Then this coronavirus thing happened, and I was just like, listen, I'm not going to go through this whole thing to get people there to rehab in this environment. So like that, my guy said, you got to replace the rugs. You got to get a cleaner on the walls. You got to pull off the roof. The point is, if you can get somebody that is specifically knowledgeable in mobile homes and build a relationship with them, if this is what you're going to be doing, build a relationship with them, and then they can be your rehab guy. Otherwise, my advice, pay somebody like a handyman who charges a little bit more, just have him do the rehabbing for you if you don't know how to do it yourself already. Because when you have fires like this, let me tell you, if we would have fixed this up to resell it, you just don't fix the ceilings on something like this when there's a fire in particular. You have to do the electrical work. I mean, there's a lot of little things you have to make sure you take care of. Plumbing is going to be melted, all that kind of stuff. So there's a lot to it. Rehabbing, take somebody who knows what they're doing. Of course, do your right background on the home. You know, I can't give you numbers on how much a carpet is. You guys are going to find for yourself. I mean, how much is a carpet for a 1,200 square foot mobile home? Keep everything simple. Everybody keeps upgrading after they rehab. I'm going to put in this big, beautiful mirror. I'm telling you, homes sell the same if you keep them clean and uniform. It's fine. But when you start putting in fancy stuff, it's like putting rims on an old Cadillac. Nobody really cares. It's not worth anything more. And, you know, when they're going to buy, they want a clean home. and we've sold a lot of homes. Most of ours go to investors, but with private people are the same way. They want to walk in, see a nice, beautiful home, doesn't stink like, dogs, and they want it to be simple. So you don't have to put anything fancy. So it'll keep your numbers down. It's far less expensive than rehabbing a regular house or an apartment building. So this is great to get into. Just get the right person working with you. And if you're new and you just came in from Las Vegas, like the other girl down here, Shaddai? What is your name? Oh, her thing is off. I can't even hear you. But the girl came from Las Vegas. And, this is something where you come down here. This is a great way to start. You have a little bit of money. You can get somebody to work with you. Pay a little extra to get a guy. Build a relationship with other people that are local. And if you're doing rehab jobs, be there. Okay? I've done that too, where I kind of just like, hey, let me go over here and go shopping at Publix while I got 4 guys. No, don't shop at Publix. Go there where the guys are working, see what they're doing. And me, I told you, I'm as handy as a fruit fly. I go there and I nod my head at. Yes. Oh, I see what you're doing here. That's what I do, because I want them to know I'm there, okay, participating in what's going on. That's important for you to do. Be there during rehab.
I rehab homes. That was my business in Las Vegas. I used to do what people they call flippers, but I've done several homes in Las Vegas. So I'm really interested in looking for fixer-uppers.
We got lots of them out here. You're going to be very happy. You're going to be very happy. We may find you a few pennies on the dollar. So stay in touch with us on that, okay?
All right, good to know. Thank you.
Oh, absolutely. All right, so that's rehabbing homes. I wish I could tell you more of how much, products cost to stick in there and all that, but I would just be jiving you guys. You're going to find that stuff out yourself, and you can either talk to me or you can talk to Shaddai. Did I say your name right, Shaddai? That's a cool name.
Yes, it's Shaddai.
Shaddai, yeah.
Yes.
All right, so Mobile Home Inspections 101. This is the way we inspect a home. MHCO, when we go to a home, it's a general inspection. Remember, our homes with investors, they know what they're looking at already. But I like, when I get to a home, first thing I got to look at is the land. Look at the land all around it. All the trees, do those trees have to come down? Does the home have hitches? If you look at any of my videos on YouTube or wherever, there's so many people, oh, it was a great home, pull it out. Yeah, and you get everything ready and you're there and you look underneath and there's no hitch. I mean, it costs money, those things. And when you're on small margins, which really, when you're wholesaling or, that kind of thing, or locating homes, you got thin margins. You can't make these kind of mistakes. It costs you $400 or $500 to get hitches on a double wide. They got to bring the hitch, they got to weld it, they got all this stuff to do. Take a look, pull off that skirting. If it's that hardy board skirting, kick it in. I mean, just take the thing off, take a look, because it's going to cost you a ton of money. And look at the roof. You could tell a cruddy roof. You could see the waves in it. Look, if you're getting something like this home, which I think this home was like maybe a 1989, it's going to probably need a roof. People repair them all the way up to the time they sell them. So there's no new roof on a lot of these homes, as much as we would like to think there is. So, and even if they cool seal it, I mean, cool sealing is not really repairing a home. It's kind of like something else entirely different. But they like to say, hey, cool seal the roof. There's no leaks. That doesn't make me feel any better. It shouldn't make you feel any better. So take a good look on the outside and any leaks around the windows, peeling off of things. If you see even vinyl siding peeling, just look at where it's peeling. You may see the molding all over the place. Biggest thing is mold in these houses. I don't think I have to tell you guys that. It's common sense. Black mold, bad. And if you get them by the windows or the doors, a lot of times it lives in the walls and it spreads. And that's what black mold does. So people are trying to sell the home. Sometimes you can repair them. I know people that actually could still buy them. But again, it hinders transportation a lot of times. The walls get weak. They got to wrap it, secure it a different way, and it causes all kinds of problems. Another thing I wanted to tell you is if you can, on these basic inspections, which we don't do, is take a look at the frame under these homes. You know, a lot of times if this home has to be moved in particular, take a look at the frames. A lot of them get rusted out. They're all bent and warped. You know, they're not going to be able to pull this. So, you know, they're going to have to get a welder underneath and do more. Again, that's more and more and more money, more time and aggravation. But if it's something that's sitting on the lot like it is now and you're looking to inspect it, you're going to look at the outside, you're going to look at everything growing on it, the roof, you want to get a ladder and try to get up on the roof. We just do sight see when we do these kind of inspections. If you want to get really into the roof, you got to get a roofer, a guy that knows roofing, because I know guys that can fix all kinds of stuff on the inside of the house, and when they get on the roof, they don't know what they're doing. So that happens. So like if you look on the upper left, I don't know if you see my cursor up here, but if you see up on the left, symmetrical ceilings are important. A lot of them start bowing when you know there's roof issues. When you see it bowing, it is a telltale sign that there's something going on with the roof. Now, depending on how old the home is, sometimes they still bow in, and it's okay. All you do is pull it down. You could take a look, or you get somebody that really knows what they're looking at, because if you got a bad roof up there and it's starting to buckle down, I mean, I've seen roofs where it was just filled with water and I touch it with a finger and the water starts coming out. I mean, roofs are very important. They're very expensive. They're one of the more expensive parts on a home, no matter what anybody tells you, because I've had the best people and the worst people work on roofs. They're always a big pain in the neck. And you can't get a perfect roof, and especially if you got pre-owned homes, which we deal with a lot. But it's just something to keep. You could take a look actually here on the bottom left. This is a bathroom. You see the black mold up on top. When you're inspecting a home, you've got to get into every closet, every room, okay, when it comes to the ceiling. You got to get into everywhere, because especially if you got a cellar there, they're going to go, oh, don't go in that closet. That's where I keep all my, you know, whatever. It's like, yeah, let me go in that closet, lady. And you got to look up in that closet. And you got to see, you're going to see a small little black stain. You know that you got problems with the roof. Now, again, if it's a 1985, of course, I mean, that does happen. But make sure that you address that, because that could be a larger problem than it looks. Kitchens, I always look at the kitchens, the cabinets. You have to resurface them, all that kind of stuff. And then the general look of the home on the bottom right. I mean, that's a really nice home right there. Not much to look at there. I do want to get into the floors too, though. Flooring, when we get in, the first thing we do is we step around the windows, around the high traffic areas. Now, if it's a weak floor by the door, it's just a couple of plywood that you pull out that they'll be able to repair. It's not a big deal. But if you're walking on the floor and the whole thing's crunchy or wavy, those floors have to be replaced. And there's another big headache, because everybody thinks it's just plywood on the floor. It's usually more. You got the what are those called? The different hardware underneath that's rotting out, bending, buckling. You got to get a good floor repairman there. And a big tip for you guys, and I always say this, you know, these are the biggest headache homes I've ever had to come across. T111, wood siding homes. Yuck, yuck, yuck. We still buy them. I don't like them. I just don't. I never did. And I found that out a lot of times, because we're always having to put new siding on these things, but a lot of people put siding over them. I don't know what that does. It's just, you're just holding in all the moisture and it gets yucky. But T111 in this Florida weather, Texas weather, southern weather, I don't even know why they make these things. I don't know if I'm missing something or what, but they get so moldy, tons of termites, tons of issues transporting, and we buy these very cheap. So if somebody has, well, it's so beautiful on the inside, I'm like, listen, I got to reside this whole thing after we split this thing open and transport it, 100 miles down the road. So I don't like T111 homes, but if it's something attached to a property and you got a great investment, have somebody look at it. If it needs, if it looks like it's, because you'll see these stained, molded and everything. It doesn't necessarily mean the wood is bad, but you got to peel back that wood somewhere and take a look inside. You might find all the termites right there, running right in front of you. Mold, wetness, and nasty. And you have to be very careful with that. And if you do rehab it, I've learned myself, pull all that stuff off. It's a little bit more money if you pull it off and you put some new walls on the side and new vinyl siding. It costs a little bit extra, but you know, I mean, come on, T111, bad stuff. My opinion, though, you guys might like some of that every once in a while, but I don't particularly like them. Okay, and here's another one. This is mobile home parks and community. What do we got? 720. Mobile home park in parks and communities.
Hey, Rod.
I love this.
Hey, Rod.
Go ahead. Yes, Carl.
Before you move on to parks, you've thrown out 1985 several times. What's the significance of that?
What do you mean? What's the certificate? What's the wind zone?
Yeah, I know what it is, but the rest of the group might want to know what happened in 1985 that makes that so important.
Well, that's just an example. Like we buy homes 1980 and newer, all the way to brand new. So it's just that when I'm saying in 1985, it's to reference when you have an older home, a lot of these things do come up. You're not going to find the perfect roof. You're not going to find a perfect flooring. You're going to have things that are wrong with it. And they're not as big as a deal as you might think. You know, in 1980, I said, like with the T111 home, a 1989 with T111, I mean, you're going to have problems with that siding. I mean, generally speaking, you are. And they don't keep it very nice. It can't last that nice. So just something to think about, that wood siding. But there's no particular, you know, I don't discriminate with the age. As long as it's newer than 1980, or like we educated you about, 77 and newer, that's a wind zone 2 home. But that you have to worry about if you're transporting the home anywhere. So I like homes, if you can get them newer than 77, if you ever have to sell them or get rid of them, you can, because you can sell it even if it's at a cheap price, or even if it's the cost of transport, they could take that home and pull it away in exchange for the transport. Because you got to remember, and I want to get in this real quick too, there's 3 parts to transportation, if you guys didn't know this. There's the tear down of the home, okay, where they tear it down, axles, tires they put underneath, they make sure the hitch is on, all that stuff. Then you got the actual transport of the home, where the truck's going to come, hook it up, take it to the next place. Then you got the setup of the home. This is where all the fun is. And the setup guys will take it, they'll put it there, they'll put it back together. They put everything back on. I don't want to say the skirting all the way up to the skirting. A lot of times they don't include that. Get to know transport guys. If you only use them once in a while, you got to count on somebody else who knows how to talk to them, speak with them, because I'm telling you something, if you do one deal with one transport company and you're calling them at 8 o'clock telling them, hey, I thought you were going to come Wednesday and now it's Thursday, and you start, you know, breaking chops on these truckers, they're going to say, hey, I'm going to get there when I can. They're not customer service oriented. So it's something for you guys to remember. You really got to try to deal with the transport companies if you're not using them like as much as we do. Try your best to understand what they do. They're usually a guy that's on the road for 80 hours a week. They got a wife at home screaming at 3, 4, 5 kids, and they're on the phone with permitting. I mean, that's a lot of transport companies, at least in Florida and Georgia. So I can tell you that for sure. So you want to get the best relationship you can with them. But you got to be flexible, which on the next one, we're going to talk about wholesaling. That's one of the big pitfalls with wholesaling deals to people, because as soon as you find a great deal, you are on a time clock. I know you like to think, well, maybe I could get my cousin over there to fix the roof a little before someone comes to look at it. Maybe I could do this. Maybe you have to hurry up, get transport ready, which takes a couple of weeks anyway, who may have to do permitting to get the thing broken down. These are going to take several weeks to do. You don't want to be stuck trying to wholesale a home off of a property and then you have nothing ready. I mean, the transport truck is, I mean, you're going to have all kinds of problems. We're going to get into that next. I don't want to fly off on that too much. You ready, Carl? I'm going to talk about parks and communities.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, this is a good one to keep some notes on. We work with lots of parks and communities, and now look, there's different ways to invest in these. I don't like buying and moving out of parks and communities because so many people, oh, you get a great deal in a park. Let me tell you, I've had parks. I've been through this. My family has. This is somebody else's investment. I get very upset with park owners and community owners out there when they do this one thing. They have people that need a couple of $1,000s to move out of these homes, and the park's not helping them sell it, or maybe they helped them and they couldn't find anybody. They won't give the guy an extra couple of $1,000 to move out and get his life on. They'd rather him hand over the titles and walk out with his tail between his legs. That's when I go after the home to pull it out of a park or a community. I've told this to rooms full of park and community owners who hate it when people go into their park, and I said, listen, buddy, this is what you got to start doing. Calm down your management, okay? Because I know the management wants to keep the free home so he can make an extra couple bucks. I get all that. But the reality is you got a family in these parks. They need somewhere to go. You know, they're behind a couple of months in rent. I'm not saying, poor everybody, but really, they're trying to get out, go to somewhere else to live, to start their life. You're not even giving them a check for $2,000 to have them go away. They really need to start doing that. So what do parks do now when you try to pull homes out? They want to put you in lawsuits. They want to sue you, and they can't. And here's your tip. Because if you're in there and you find a great home that needs to come out, first of all, make sure it's a motivated case. The person needs to get out. No one's helping them. They've exhausted everything. The park's like, look, screw you. I want my lot rent. That's all I can tell you. And they can't get out with their family. Make sure that you understand what they owe to the park, okay? If they don't owe if they owe money to the park, you're gonna have all kinds of problems taking that home out. If they don't owe anything to the park, they have physical possession of their title, okay? And they paid their lot rent up to date. There's no legal way these parks can keep that home there, unless there's a lot lease or something tying the seller to the property for another 12 months or 16 months or whatever. So your job would be to look at that contract. We do this all the time. Plus, I know a lot of these park investment groups, and I'm going to tell you, parks not what they used to be. You don't have some local yokel sitting on a crate on the outside of his park watching everybody go in and out of his park. Those days are just about completely over. Now you got a bunch of investment groups that are looking at numbers. They really, I don't want to say they don't care about the park, but they care about their numbers, like all investors. They're not sitting out there. They live in Wyoming. Their parks are in Florida. They live in California. Their parks are in Florida. Run by who? Insane management many times. Emotional management many times. So if you go into these parks and you're like, listen, I really want to take this guy's house from him, but we're going to pull it out, you're going to deal with an emotional manager. Yeah, well, you don't know what they put us through. Remember, I said, I know, but you know what? They don't owe you any more money. They got clear title. They're not on a lot lease. This home is going to be pulled out. I suggest if you get in that spot, try to negotiate the park to buy the home back if you get into that tough spot. Because listen, if you're only gonna make a couple of grand on a home and you're pulling it out of a park, you're gonna go to court with guys that are probably worth a lot more money than you, and they're gonna go after you. They're gonna say, even though they don't have a case, they're gonna take you to court and they're gonna try to drain you in court. It happens. And it's just, I get upset with these park owners because they really think that you're not allowed to take my home out of my property. Oh yeah, well, what did you offer this guy? The guy's been living here for 5 years, paying, he's on hard times. I've had them have cancer with ready to die within weeks, and these parks would not help them. And it just breaks my heart, and it angers me. So I like to help people that are in those spots, but I don't want to get too far off of this because we're going to run out of time. But keep it in mind, when it comes to moving a home out of a park, look at that picture right there on the left. That picture, concrete skirting, that's a lot of money to move out. They're going to have to leave deposits there. If you got a little palm tree in the way and you rip that out, they're going to want that replaced. They are going to break your chops to get this home out of there. So it is always better to keep a home where it is, but we do pull homes out every once in a while. When I come across these managers that are like, I don't care what you say, and they start doing that, and they're leaving these poor people to go nowhere, I go after it and I pull that home out if I have to, just to let you know. That going into it further, I wanted to talk to you about Lonnie deals. The most popular way that's been going on for years are these Lonnie deals. They're way different now. So what I did was I went on Google to get an act, because everybody asked me, what's a Lonnie deal? I know modern day Lonnie deals. These old Lonnie deals, I don't know. A Lonnie deal involves purchasing a mobile home in a park, doing some minor rehab to get it into move-in condition, then reselling it to an owner occupant looking to buy a mobile home to move into. Now, the key to the Lonnie deals is that the seller finances the purchase of the home. Now, look, this is where I kind of disagree with the with the definition of Lonnie deals. First of all, sometimes you don't have to do these with minor rehab. You can get them as is and sell them to somebody to make a little profit to get somebody to come in and buy it. So you can say, look, the home needs to be painted, you need a floor spot fixed, the AC needs to be fixed. You know, you can offer somebody $1,000 for the home in a lot of cases, and they're gonna take it. But what are you attached to? Here's the problem. These Lonnie deals now, to me, are starting to become gone unless you do a couple of things. Number one is, well, build a relationship with park management is gonna be huge, because not all park management's dealing with a full deck. And I really mean that. God bless so many of them. I met so many good people, but a lot of them are so emotional. They're very red and howdy, and they want to fight and show people they're fighting. And we know as calm investors that you don't want to get all emotional with people. It's not even worth it. But sometimes they lean into you. Now, what do I mean by that? What does that have to do with a Lonnie deal? They can make it incredibly difficult for you to do a Lonnie deal. Why? Because they have to pre-screen who comes into the park. So if they don't like the way you look, and hey, I got somebody that's gonna come in, oh, hello, and you gotta be nice to them in the park and kiss their butt. Look, I've been through it so many times. Okay, we got somebody who's gonna come in, it's a couple. I just got the home from the lady, I have her title, okay, and I know lot rent's due in another 2 weeks, so I have this couple that's coming in, and you're trying to time everything. Let me time everything. Get this sold before the next lot rent. What do you think they're gonna do? You're gonna be paying the next month lot rent. And then if the person is having a screwy moment in their life, what are they're gonna tell you no? Oh, well, those people can't come in here. They can't come in. They literally do things like, these are things that really do happen. Now, generally, should they do that? No. Do they all do that? No. But many of them do. When you're in a smaller park and you get a great deal for $1,000, lot rent $600, and you go in there and you just say, hey, I'm going to grab that deal. No, you go to management and say, look, I'm looking to purchase this home. And don't get the girl at the front desk. Get the girl that calls the shots in the office. If you can't get the owner, which by the way, you won't anymore, because owners are smarter than that. They're going to hide behind, their palace. They're not going to be at that park. It's just their number investment. So you have to tell them exactly what you're doing. Don't hold anything back. Be nice, be respectful, and say, look, they were having a hard time. I purchased their home, I have the title, and I want to start getting people in. What are your requirements? And how are you guys with, just keep it light, feel them out. And then the managers are going to tell you, okay, well, we don't want anybody with a criminal record. Okay, so now you know how to make your ad and put it out there. And what they say is, so when you get something for $1,000, how you actually do the deal is you would sell it to the next guy, let's say for $5,000. You bought it for $1,000. Maybe you put $500 or $1,000 into it. So you're selling it looking to get $3,000. Your time clock's ticking. You can't get somebody to get qualified in the park because the park makes it impossible. You're going to find yourself with a ticking clock, and then guess what? $600 a month comes, $600 a month comes, $600 a month comes. Oh, God damn, I told you I should have never done. And that starts happening. So if you're making this your investment, unless you really know what you're doing with these Lonnie deals, all I can tell you is build that relationship with park management, talk to them, and address any other issues that person has. I didn't even mention that. When you go to the park and tell them you're looking to buy this home, just say, listen, is there anything else? Because they told me this is what's going on. They really need to move out. How do you guys feel about that? Because I want to get this resold. you know, a lot of them are going to say, okay, but you are going to get the ones that, you know, I always told my grandfather told me, you get that gut feeling, man, run away. We still don't always run away. We're a glutton for punishment as humans. But I mean, I'll tell you, you'll get that gut feeling if this is a screwball manager or not. You may want to pass on that deal. Or get it under contract while the people are living there and say, listen, I'm going to do my best to find you someone. I'll just do a contract. If you don't feel comfortable with a contract, I won't do a contract with you. Let me go make some phone calls. And you can call a company like ours or somebody else and see if they'll buy it as is, and then you can kind of wholesale it to them. Don't get into a Lonnie deal if park management are lunatics. Just don't do it. It's not worth it. And then you resell it, you sell it back to the person. So if you get lucky enough to get a family to go in there and they paid $5,000 for it, you only have $1,500 into it total. They can put, I always suggest get your down payment to be what you put into it, plus a month's lot rent. So you'll have $1,500 plus $6,000. They can move in with $2,100, and then you got your other $2,900 that they can owner finance back. You can owner finance back to them. Just, you don't have to get technical with owner finance. You can say, look, I'll take an extra $200 a month on the lot rent. I'm holding the titles, and then when you're done paying in another 2 years or a year or whatever you decide to do with them, you give them their titles, and it's game over, and then you made your money.
Hey, Rod.
Yes, sir.
For somebody new that's going into a park, do you think instead of getting it under contract, if they got an option to buy instead, it would cost them a little less that way, and it gives them time to do something as opposed to laying out more money on an actual contract?
I like that. I mean, but again, whenever these are motivated situations, there's not a lot of time. But I do like that with option to buy. I don't normally do it. I'll go in and either I'll tell them, listen, I'm keeping it open for you. If you get a neighbor to walk over here, God bless. But for a real investor trying to protect the deal, you guys got to remember, I go through the deals very quick. We do high volume. So sometimes I just get to it. I like getting to the next deal. But for this one, I think that's right. An option to buy. I have sales guys that work with me, and they do the same. They do option to buy. And it kind of keeps them out of putting too much of their own money into it. Did that answer the question?
Yep.
I'm going to go now. So remember, building a relationship and address previous park issues. And if you get in trouble, you call our company and we'll, a lot of these investment groups we know or we know of, and we could speak their language if you have trouble, whether we're in the deal with you or not. Okay. And like I told Carl and everybody, I don't sell things in business in a box. We're an action-oriented company. That means we're looking to make you money now. I don't want you to go through too much red tape and BS. We want to get the deal and get it done, and that's the end of it. We kind of roll that way. Now, here's the biggest, as we get to the finish line, and we're at, what is it, 7:30? Okay, I don't want to keep everybody too long. Wholesaling and locating mobile homes. Now, they're really two different things. I feel like I made up the locating mobile homes talk because on my website, I have become a mobile home locator. Why? There's two different parts to this. Number one, finding the good deals. You got to find the good deals before you're wholesaling. Let's start at the beginning. You're ready to wholesale. You found a great deal. Where can you find the great deals? Right now, they're hot on social media, but you got 8 million other wholesalers trying to get them and sell them to people who aren't qualified. I'll get into that in a minute. So you can look on social media, but what I always suggest, especially realtors and wholesalers, just start your local brand building. If you're a real estate agent, and we have references from realtors that make a great living on the side with us or through their company. And how does it happen? I tell them, become a local brand. Let people know that, listen, anything mobile home related, you're going to call Karen. Okay? That's all. Well, wait a minute. Let me ask you some questions about mobile. Hold on. I have somebody who'll speak to you about it. Then you get the expert in your resources to speak to them directly that you trust. We do that a lot for especially realtors and wholesalers. You want to build your own brand, and we're going to get into that lastly. But when people know that you're in it, and you're working hard at your own reputation to do well, they're going to call you. Hey, that girl Karen said she deals with mobile homes. I need a mobile home. Maybe I could call Karen. I need a mobile home removed. I got a mobile home for sale. You selling a home? I'll get Karen. I don't know what she knows. Will you call her? And then when they call you and Karen doesn't really know what she's saying, when they say, look, I got a 1985, and well, hold on, you got 1985, I'm going to have one of my partners call you. That's when you have your good resources, call them. Use your good brand of your own that you've been working with. As an investor, we all want win-win situations. You have to have win-win situations if you're building a brand. If you're looking to buy and fly, it's different. You can kind of argue with people and, you know, take your shirt off and go nuts. But how we do it and how you can get great deals all the time consistently, you build your local brand. Now, what's the difference of the two? Wholesaling and locating. Wholesaling, you have that proper contract. Why? Because you found a home, let's say on Facebook, okay? And I try to tell us all the Facebook wholesalers out there just tearing a hole into this industry right now. A lot of them are just, they're on their last dime, and God bless them, they're trying to make money. I get it, but they're not doing proper contracts with people. They're not putting in awareness of transportation. They have no strategy, okay? And they're risking everybody's money. Why? Because first of all, most of the guys that are online trying to buy and sell homes, we buy mobile home guys or whatever, they're securing a home many times without a contract or the right contract, and I'll get into that in a second. And then they're getting another buyer from the same avenue. So if they found a great home on Facebook from a seller, they're going to have other buyers from Facebook that were looking around. Those guys are unqualified. You have to remember, 7 out of 10, I would say from my experience, are unqualified buyers of mobile homes. Okay? What does that mean? When you have a wholesale contract on a mobile home from someone's property and they're happy, oh, you're going to give me $8,000 on my home? Yeah, I'm going to give you $8,000. Okay, great. Well, I'm going to get you on the contract, and then we're gonna come and take a look at the home, and we're going to do what we have to. Okay, great. So the person's all happy. So first of all, they didn't get a deposit a lot of times. Or if even, let's say if you even gave them a deposit, you gave them $500, okay? Now what are you going to do? You're going to put, these wholesalers are putting everybody in their buyers list who usually are just regular investors. By the way, huge waste of time. But why? Because now you got a contract with these people, and these guys are coming in from Facebook, Craigslist, in every which direction on the seller's property. Okay, let's picture this. You got a home under contract, and you got different people coming on the property to see which one you like it while you're running a Craigslist and Facebook ad. So you got every single lunatic. You don't know who they are. What do you think, that wholesalers are pre-screening their buyers? They don't do that anymore. They're not doing stuff like that. They're just like, I got a good deal. I'm going to relist it for $2,000 more. And then I'm going to get all these guys to come to that guy's property. Yeah. You know how many times I've seen guys get sued over this? And thank the Lord, it hasn't been me yet, where people come that they have under contract, slip and fall on the property, steal the AC unit out of the property, because, you know, the wholesaler wants to sit at home in his underwear, eating Fruit Loops, thinking that he's going to get $2,000. So now you got all these people going onto the property, and they don't know who they are. The seller, the poor seller, if they don't live there and the home is empty, you're going on a guy's private land in the state of Florida, mind you. You know, I got an Annie Oakley kind of wife. She'll shoot you. You're on our property. So this wholesaler now is in the middle of, I mean, it could turn into devastation. So, and this happens all the time. So they get them under contract. They have different people looking at the house while they're sitting back, thinking that everything's okay. The seller now, you got to remember, when you find a great deal that you have to wholesale, you're on a time limit, probably more than anybody, because you have to do a background. Okay, sir, how soon do you need this off? Well, our home is just built. They gave us 30 days before they start finding us. Okay, now you got a knucklehead wholesaler, doesn't know what he's doing on Facebook, gets it under contract, and then what happens? The 30-day ends. Well, I have a buyer. What do you mean you have a buyer? Get this damn thing off my property. I'm getting fined. Who's going to pay for the fines? That happens all the time. So be careful with wholesaling and transportation. Remember how we talked about, how is a truck going to get in to pick it up, to move the home? What do they need to know? Do you know how to speak as a wholesaler to transportation? You know, what are you guys coming in with? Do they need extra equipment? Do you need a dozer? Do you need a translift to pick up the home, to turn the home? They don't know this stuff. Wholesalers don't know this stuff. And that's very important to keep in mind. So when you're wholesaling, you've got to know proper contracts which cover your butt, which no matter what kind of contract you give, I can tell you this right now, have a great relationship with who the seller is and make sure they're flexible. Because if you're on something where it's quick and it's got to be out in 30 days, you better call a guy like me instead of somebody else who thinks they're a buyer. Well, let me go there. I'm going to bring my mother-in-law and maybe my cousin in Jersey is coming down next week. We come next week to come look at the home. They're going to do that kind of stuff. And it's the last thing you want to do. And that's what I get into on my last thing is locating homes. It is the least amount of time, effort, and risk. Why? Because John, hey, Rod, I found a home. It's a 1992 and the guy wants $5,000. I don't know what to, hey, listen, John, sit back, let our office call them and you get cut in on the deal transparently. That's it. You want to make $1,000, $2,000? Go to my LinkedIn page and see all the real realtors that we're working with. You get paid and you don't have to get involved with transportation, risk, contracts, and all that nonsense we take care of. So that's important to know. Wholesaling and locating. Wholesaling, higher risk, locating a home, you're out of the deal. There's no suing me if something goes wrong. I don't have anything to do. I just found the home. You could find a for sale sign at a park. You could find a guy who's selling his home off of his property and you give us a call. That's how we work with that. So that's something to remember. Locating, least amount of risk. Okay, the most amount, wholesaling, and if you don't know what you're doing with rehabbing these homes, very important. Also, well, I can say too, when we talked earlier about the home and land, putting a home on your land, making sure that home's qualified, nothing worse than buying a mobile home and it's sitting there and this broker that you bought the home from is in Jersey now and you're over here like, I can't use this home on this property. Nightmare. So stay away from those kind of things and keep all that in mind. And this should have been last, but it's up here now. This is what we do. If you need to contact us, like I said, you don't have to do deals with us. You can have questions. I'm between two states. We got great knowledgeable staff in the office, but if you need to speak to me directly, we'll make a call for you and I'll be happy to speak to you 10 or 15 minutes to make sure you're on the right track to do the right thing. In particular, if you're a realtor and a wholesaler, make sure you get the job done right, because when you're a real estate agent, you got a big deal to close, and you need that home office part of the deal. You need to have somebody you can trust to do these deals. You don't want to start sending people from Craigslist to look at the home to see if you can make an extra $500 or $1,000 off the home. You'll see quickly that that's not the way to do things. Lastly, I did get into this. This is supposed to be the slide before, is brand building. And I'm not picking on this dude over here, but I always laugh. He's a Facebook guy. He looks like he's playing video games and he's telling you that he buys mobile homes. You've got to know when you're building a brand, you can't come off this way. I mean, you got to be generally making people that are about to risk. See, people that say they buy mobile homes don't realize that when you're buying someone's home, you're risking the person you're buying it from. Because they don't know what they're doing. They just, hey, I'm going to sell the home and you're going to get a truck and move it. If you get some local yokel that doesn't understand transport and how complex it is to move it off, what is he buying? He's not buying anything. And most of these guys and girls who do this don't buy anything. They get you under contract without giving a person a deposit, or I do, our company does a lot of non-refundable deposits. So if I screw up the deal in 30 or 45 days, they keep a deposit. So where we lose a little money, we keep reputation, because I want to drain out a lot of these guys. They are in trouble left and right all the time. I'm not saying about this guy in particular. I'm just, I did look at, how he's presenting himself as someone who buys mobile homes. You've got to be very careful. You got to make them trust you, but you got to know what you're doing. It's so important. So good branding means happy face. I don't even know why I put that in there. It's just the guy's happy because, you know, you build a good brand with a good name. You could do it as a realtor, okay? You could sell luxury homes, which we have. We have some really big superstars in the real estate business who know who to call when it's time to get rid of one of those homes. Hey, Rod, there's that old ucky home over there that I don't want anything to do with. You're going to take it off and send me some money? Yes, we are. And then that's what we do. So they trust. So building trust and working with people you trust with, very, very important in mobile homes, not high margins. This isn't flipping real estate. It's two different things. Keeps a title because it's really a motor vehicle. So keep that in mind. I'm going to let you guys, before I close up, a free gift to you that you can use whether you work with us or not. You call up our office or you email our office, tell them that you heard us on MCREIA, this awesome thing. Carl, I can't thank you enough. I appreciate you giving me the outlet to speak to people. You go over here, you give us a call, or you email and say, hey, Rod said during the MCREIA webinar that we can use a seller intake form. It's a seller intake form. It tells you everything you need to know when you go to a home and you're ready to buy one. Everything that you need to find out about the home, it's on the intake form. And it's really geared for people that are looking to buy the home so we can remove them. But also it's something to where you're gonna have measurements, you're gonna have background, you're gonna have all that kind of stuff. If you do locate homes for us, you fill out as much as you can. One of the girls in the office, Kathy in particular, will give you this form, and then you fill out the best that you can. She'll get back in touch with you. We'll work on that home right away, transparently with you to make sure it's a great deal. If it's a yucky deal, we're gonna tell you and advise you not to pursue it. If it's a good deal, even if it's like pretty good, we're gonna wind up getting it because, you know, our company needs thousands. So we're always in the market, and I appreciate you guys very much. If you missed some of this, Carl said there'll probably be a replay if you dare to hear it a second time in my annoying voice. I don't really know, but I hope to hear from all you guys. Call me anytime, and our office will arrange a phone conversation with me. Take about 10, 15 minutes to make sure you're doing things on the right track, whether you're working with us or not. Happy to help you guys. If there's anything I missed, please go ahead and ask. Carl, you want me to turn it to you, or if there's any questions?
Sure. We got one question here, which you just answered, which was your seller intake form.
Mhm.
But what I was going to suggest, Rod, is we can actually, if you want to send that to me, we can actually post that on MCREIA's website.
I will. I'll send it to you after, because if I try to send something now, I got a feeling I'm going to turn my whole computer off.
Okay. Yeah, so if you'll do that, just send it to me in email. You got my email address.
Yes, I do.
And like I say, we'll go ahead and post the seller intake form. It'll be in the resources section of the MCREIA website. So it'll be there for anybody that needs it. And the other thing that you mentioned was the fact that this has been recorded. We've been recording it ever since you came on. It will be available once I find out what the link is after we stop the recording. Then I'll put that out there in mail. I'll put it out to, what we've been doing is mail through the MCREIA website and mail through the 2 meetup groups.
Very good.
So that's about 300 people. So anyway, so that'll all be available to everybody. If you want to go back and review what Rod covered tonight, you know, if you missed something, you know, you can go back there and fast forward and do all the stuff you need to do to get to the pieces that you want to find out about. And let's see, I've got some more questions coming in here. Somebody wants to know if I've ever financed a home through a third-party lender. Fixing it and then financing it to an end buyer. The answer to that question, Angela, is yes. We have done that where we had seller financing. In fact, we have 2 deals like that right now. Both of them happening mobile homes. Where we bought it with seller financing at 0%. We went in and fixed it up and then sold it to a third party with a wraparound mortgage. – So yes, we've done that. it's a good way to make money. In fact, next year, one of my favorite deals of all time, we will have, because we're paying 0% interest and the guy that we sold it to is paying us 9% interest, the underlying mortgage will be paid off next year, and then we'll be cash flowing because it's a note, not rent. Peggy and I will be cash flowing $850 a month on that home. About another 10 years, I believe it is. So yes, we have done that.
Very good.
Anybody else got any more questions? Okay, well, Rod, we thank you very much. I have been looking forward to this, as you well know.
Thank you.
I hope everybody got a lot of good information out of this tonight, and we appreciate you being on. And I guess we'll see everybody at the next meeting. Again, we have 2 meetup groups coming up next Tuesday at 6:30. That will be on Zoom as well. We'll be sending out that link. That is the landlord meeting, and then on the 28th is the new investor workshop. And let's see, that's right. The landlord meeting, we're going to talk about ways of getting your rent automated, coming to you automatically. And then a new investor workshop will be covering creative financing techniques. So that should be very good information. I've been more concerned about, since we've been in lockdown mode here, is I have seen things coming in the market that I think there's going to be some real good bargains coming up here very shortly. And I want to make sure that, especially the new investors, that they have some of the tools in their tool belt, like you like to say, Rod, when it comes to creative financing stuff, so that they can take advantage of some deals other than just paying cash.
That's right.
All right, if nobody else has any other questions, that's it for tonight. Everybody, thanks for attending, and we'll see you at the next meeting.
Thank you, guys.